We know it's going to be an awesome atmosphere here for baseball.
The Mariners have never been closer.
Shot to right center field. Varsho on the run. He's at the track. He's at the wall. It's gone!
To a shot at the World Series. Just 2 wins away.
Fly to deep right field. Back goes Lucas at the wall. Goodbye!
And Seattle is ready for them to punch their ticket right here at home.
We're planning for 50 to 75,000 Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday.
One Mariners fan is taking his excitement to the sky.
Once they got into the playoffs, I wanted to do something special.
With a unique message for the Blue Jays.
Why not put a big trident in the sky over the stadium right before Toronto comes in for a game?
Just as fans come in, a popular downtown Seattle spot shuts down.
The construction is not the reason they don't want to come here.
How long orange barrels will be up at Westlake Park as businesses work to keep the customers coming in.
We have had collisions there, including a rollover.
And if you're headed to SeaTac Airport, you can't miss it. Drivers lined up along the highway ahead of arrivals.
That makes for a dangerous situation.
How law enforcement is cracking down to prevent more pileups.
Hooks one in the air, down the line. If it's fair, it's got a chance, and it's gone. Julio Rodriguez with a 3-run shot in the first inning.
Mariners have been electric on the road in this series. They have a commanding 2-0 lead against the Blue Jays, and now they're coming home. Game 3 of the American League Championship Series tomorrow at T-Mobile Park. That game is sold out with more than 47,000 fans expected to pack the stadium. First pitch, 5:08 p.m. George Kirby set to take the mound for the M's. Support for the Mariners is all around us, and today it showed up in the skies over Seattle. This is King 5 News at 11. I'm Greg Copeland. King 5's Madeline Carter introduces us to the man who's giving tridents up new meaning.
Every time that I leave the ground, everything just kind of, the sense of serenity just flows through.
Jeremy Bellwood finds peace here at Painfield Airport. 13 years as a pilot, and still nothing can top the way this feels.
As you're flying around the maneuvers, looking down every now and then, it's like, wow, this is just so awesome to be up in this space.
When he built this plane in 2017, it was only meant to be a hobby. But 8 years later, the Glass Air Sportsman is living up to its name.
I've just always loved baseball. You know, I played as a kid for a few years and love watching it at the stadium.
When he isn't in the sky, you can find Jeremy at a Seattle Mariners game.
Been a season ticket holder for 10 years, and right now they are on fire.
Watching his teams rise to success from the stands.
Once they got into the playoffs, I wanted to do something special.
Tuesday morning, Jeremy took tridents up to a whole new level over downtown.
Fuel pump.
Flying his blue and white plane in the path of a trident right before the Mariners come home to continue the championship series.
It has to be one contiguous line. You can't pick up the pen and move to another spot on the sky and redrive.
In order to seize the moment, he used Google Earth to make sure his coordinates were spot on.
Because I wanted the middle of the trident kind of right over T-Mobile Park.
The trident-shaped flight also took off online. But Jeremy says his inspiration stayed grounded in one thing: the Mariners.
You know, we need to get these next 2 wins, and fortunately we've got 3 games at home in order to try to make it happen.
If it does, he'll take off again to cheer on his team from above as they head to the World Series. Madeline Carter, King 5 News.
We're planning for 50 to 75,000 Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday.
And it's not just Mariners fans. Seattle businesses are gearing up for some of their busiest days ever. Local vendors are stocking up to feed a sellout crowd at T-Mobile Park, or sellout crowds. Ivers has doubled its garlic supply as thousands of fans pour in. The restaurant's president says 1 in 11 fans will order garlic fries at the stadium.
The truck with garlic from Gilroy, California came in We would normally at this time of the year have 4 or 5 buckets of marinated garlic. We had 150 4-pound buckets delivered.
That should tell you something. Hotel occupancy is also nearing 90% downtown, and merchandise sales are through the roof right now. Expect a lot of Canadians in town tomorrow. Some in British Columbia are a bit conflicted about whom to root for in this series. The Mariners are just across the border, but the Blue Jays are the only Canadian team in the MLB. Jordan Cunningham reports from Vancouver Island.
It's all a bit faded now, just like that official World Series ball you may or may not have on the shelf from '92.
Swinging a belt.
And the ink is certainly dry since the last time the Blue Jays won the World Series in '93.
Blue Jays win it!
But the American League Championship Series between the Blue Jays and Mariners has many on Vancouver Island seeking direction. When it comes to baseball, nearest isn't always dearest.
I gotta say the Blue Jays, because it's a part of the Canadian culture.
Who are you going for?
Jays, definitely Jays.
For Kai Hoshizaki and others at Lambert Park's Baseball Academy, it's a stare down between fans of our nearest neighbors, the Seattle Mariners, and Canada's Diamond Darlings.
Is it getting annoying with your Jays friends?
Yes, it is actually.
The fact that the Mariners have the Jays in an 0-2 hole after 2 series-opening losses in Toronto means desperation mode for the Jays.
Are they dead and buried?
I don't think so. I mean, it's not like necessarily 2 gone until it's 3-0.
Are you saying it ain't over till it's over?
I'd say so, yeah.
As far as historical local connections go, the Mariners have local product Michael Saunders. Problem is, he also played for the Jays, so he's no help at all. But Kai won't be caught with his bat on his shoulder in this debate.
Is it okay to cheer for the Mariners?
Only if you live in BC.
Don Taylor addressed this treasonous take this morning on Donnie and Dolly.
Blue Jays are Canada's team. Mariners are BC's team. Put that in your pipe and smoke it.
If I don't want the Jays to win, am I a bad Canadian?
No, you're not. And I'm sure a lot of people will tell you you are.
He says backing the underdogs is never a bad thing.
The Mariners have only made the playoffs 6 times in their existence. They make the Canucks look like the greatest sports franchise in the world.
Game 3 is must-watch.
If money was no issue, would you hop on a helijet tomorrow?
Well, that's the bet. I have a math test tomorrow.
But there are no wrong answers.
Well, as the Mariners inch closer to the World Series, one moment from last Friday's game has gone viral. Photos show the daughter of sports broadcast legend Dave Niehaus sitting beside her father's statue during the 15th inning as the M's were trying to advance to the ALCS. Greta Niehaus says she felt compelled to leave the owner's suite to be near that statue.
I just wanted to see the game. I wanted to be with him. And I just really felt him. I was like holding onto his necklace the whole time and then as soon as I sat down, that's when Polanco did it.
Dave Niehaus was the voice of the Seattle Mariners for more than 3 decades. He called the games from 1977 until his death in 2010. He was inducted into the Baseball Hall of Fame, and the Mariners built his statue at T-Mobile Park in 2011. You can stream all of our coverage right now on King 5 Plus as the Mariners continue their postseason push. We will have live post-game coverage tomorrow and Thursday. You can just download the King 5 Plus app on your TV and watch it all for free. Well, staff and patients are now allowed back into Swedish Hospital in Mill Creek after a suspicious package was found near the building's entrance. The Washington State Patrol Bomb Squad determined it was not dangerous. That package was discovered about 1:30 this afternoon. Everybody evacuated. Patients were transferred to other hospitals.
Our major priority was to keep our caregivers safe, keep our physicians and providers safe, and of course as well as the patients, so figuring out a plan. Being an emergency department, majority of this building, we had to figure out where they would go. So we, luckily being Providence Swedish, we had a few people to work with and a few hospitals to work with around the area.
And the evacuation lasted about 3.5 hours before the bomb squad gave the all clear. Nobody was hurt after a homemade explosive device was found in Kent. Officers say somebody found the backpack near a river and then drove it to the department's headquarters. The police station and nearby businesses were evacuated. The Port of Seattle bomb squad determined that device was homemade and potentially active. It was neutralized. Well, King 5 has exclusive new details about an alleged sex crime involving 5 students from one of the state's most prestigious private Catholic high schools. Here's King 5's Natalie Swabe.
The police report details information gathered at Marybridge Hospital 3 weeks ago. Police were called to the facility where a 16-year-old victim was being seen. Detectives wrote 4 students from Bellarmine High School are suspected of the sex crime of forcible rape against the fellow student at a home in Tumwater away from the school during a sleepover. The report details the victim allegedly lost a bet and that his friends gave him a choice: 10 minutes of typewriter where kids punch you on the chest, or he could engage in a sex act. Detectives went on to write the victim was pinned down and was forced to engage in sex, and that afterwards other boys held him down and tried to sexually assault him.
Natalie Swaby, King 5 News.
Well, a school official says they are not aware of many details about what happened, but when they heard rumors about it, they contacted police right away. Nobody has been charged with a crime at this point. Well, a violent attack is now being investigated as a hate crime. Seattle police say it happened yesterday as a 71-year-old man removed a sign supporting Gaza on California and South Alaska Street, and that's when a man in his 30s approached him, shouted a slur, and headbutted him. Officials confirm the victim is Jewish and say he believes he was targeted because of his religion.
Do you believe this was a hate crime?
I do believe it was a hate crime. If it happened because the man was Jewish, and it sounds like it did, then I do believe it was a hate crime.
Prosecutors say it appears the attack was based on political ideology, not religion, and that means it wouldn't fall under the state's definition of a hate crime. Prosecutors say that could change when they get the case from police.
This is a type of criminal activity that really is a plague to communities.
Seattle is launching a new tactic to crack down on commercial sexual exploitation along Aurora Avenue. It involves taking photographs of license plates in prostitution zones when illegal sexual exploitation is suspected. The police department then sends a warning letter to the registered vehicle's owner's home.
There's clear research and data that indicates that a letter sent home to your family saying you were in an area or, soliciting sex would deter close to 80% of those that would try to buy sex.
And the Community Police Commission wants the exploitation on Aurora Avenue to stop, but questions this approach.
Is this an effective use of resources towards that goal? And what evidence do we have that supports that? And how do we know if it's working, when it's working, and if it's not, when to pull the plug?
And that program will run 3 to 6 months. There will be meetings with community groups to discuss the outcome. King County Assessor John Wilson says he will not seek re-election. He has served in that role for the past decade. Wilson launched the campaign for King County Executive earlier this year, but suspended his campaign in July after he was arrested on suspicion of stalking a former partner. Court documents say the woman reported Wilson repeatedly violated a restraining order. Wilson says all civil actions have been dismissed. No criminal charges have been filed. In a statement, Wilson told King 5 in part, quote, "I allowed ego, pride, and jealousy to override kindness, grace, and thoughtfulness." Well, small businesses and commuters in one of Seattle's busiest areas are getting ready for a huge construction project. The work will shut down the city's unofficial town square until early next year. King 5's Jim Nelson has the story.
The hustle and bustle in the heart of the city, somewhat of a Seattle hub.
Especially in summer. And slow down now.
But this hotspot filled with drivers, riders, and walkers will soon look different.
Let's go in today.
Milu Wynn works at Dog in the Park along Westlake Park at 4th and Pine. The nearby Westlake station is the busiest stop in the light rail system.
Worker around the office around here, and the customer from the rail.
Yeah. Busy?
Yeah.
But now all those people will have one fewer spot to stop. The park is expected to be closed until May. The Seattle Park Foundation and its partners will tear this up and rebuild a modernized version of the 37-year-old park. Better safety and more space are part of the plan to encourage people to spend more time here. While the park itself is blocked off and will soon be filled with heavy machinery, none of the surrounding businesses will close. But they do rely on foot traffic, and so there's always concern when things shut down.
Construction is not the reason they don't want to come here. So if they want it, just come here.
So obviously buses are still running, as you can see by everyone back there. The bus stop is still open, but you will notice some immediate changes. Because of all this, well, they won't do the food truck days like they've been doing. As for improvements, you can expect to see some new lighting at night before the final project is done.
You like it?
In the meantime, Milu just wants people to know they'll be here. grilling dogs.
Thank you for waiting.
Serving lunch and dinner.
Enjoy it. Thank you.
For all those people. In Seattle, Jim Nelson, King 5 News.
Live look at SeaTac Airport tonight, where officials are now working to address what they call a growing problem. You may have seen it yourself, drivers pulling over onto the shoulder of Highway 518 to wait for arriving passengers. Police say it's creating a blind corner with multiple crashes and traffic backups.
Makes for a dangerous situation because people will pull out and people will be also traveling at the same time at a high rate of speed.
Well, some new orange cones are paved and pavement markings have been added to deter drivers from stopping, and the port is considering an increased fine. Those are just $50 for right now. City of Milton now has 6 cameras up along Milton Way, and that's where police say speeders and red light runners have been a real problem. The cameras started operating a week ago, and about 1,500 drivers have already been caught. They will only get a warning in the mail for now, but starting next month, violators will get fines up to $230.
This is my first art walk, like my first event ever in Seattle.
But that event ended in heartbreak after somebody stole thousands of dollars worth of art. The artist plead to the thief.
I don't know, it just seems like they're not worth their while anymore.
Now, the owner of this Whidbey Island store is talking about pennies, why she's phasing them out a year ahead of the U.S. Treasury.
Well, it's going to be colder tonight than it was last night. Another frost advisory for different areas this evening. I'll get you caught up on the very latest and your weekend when we come back.